From Sky F. My school hates the Second Amendment. Dear Adam, I was at school today, and we are currently taking standardized tests called West Test. I am a sophomore in high school, and I am a huge fan. Anyways, today I was wearing my pro Second Amendment shirt called The Safe Family Gun Guide, and on it features pictures of various guns and states their uses. So anyways, I was taking the test, and I was told we could write on it. It was very boring, over 100 questions long, so I started to draw on the back. I drew an AR-15 style rifle, and then got bored and started drawing other things. When the teacher went to turn all the standardized tests back to where they go, she returned and told me that the principal wanted to talk to me. It turns out that she had informed him of my drawings and of my shirt. He told me he felt threatened and that I seem like a very angry person. I am not an angry person at all. Most people think I smoke a lot of pot because of how laid back I am. I have never previously spoke with the principal, and those were the first words he ever said to me. He then proceeded to call the school board, but I was unable to hear the conversation as he made me sit in another room. When I finally got to speak to him a second time, he told me that it was against dress code to wear something that has guns on it. I dialed my father's number on the phone and they spoke for a bit, and then my dad came to pick me up. Now here's where it gets really messed up. The West Virginia State Seal has 2 crossed muskets on it. Those are guns. More messed up than that is that outside of the school, there is a state flag in which there is a state seal. I looked closely at the test itself, and it also had the West Virginia seal on it, and it even featured the muskets, so there were already illustrations of guns on the test before I even made mine. When my dad went to try and speak with the principal totally blew him off. My dad tried to ask him if it was okay to wear a shirt with the state seal on it, and the principal said no, because the state seal has muskets on it. The principal then went over to speak to some Marine recruiters who were at the school, and they had pins on their shirts that featured crossed rifles. Finally, there is an on-duty deputy sheriff who works at my school, and he always carries a gun. Apparently, he is exempt from the law because it is illegal to carry a gun on school property. This just makes me so mad, and I didn't know who to talk to about it, so I decided to send you an email. I hope you get this, Sky. Sky, thank you so much for sharing this story. And I am not at all surprised. And I suppose as a sophomore in high school, figuring this out, you might be a little bit shocked. I'll bet a lot of your fellow students are shocked, and I hope you'll take this as an opportunity to spread your thoughts on this. Spread a little subversiveness within the system. Encourage a little rebellion. And the hypocrisy really should only be surprising to either the most naive or those who have been thoroughly victimized by the government propaganda system. And as a sophomore in high school, you might be subject to this kind of treatment and be shocked. But really, you have 2 choices in how you take this. And there are really only 2 ways that you go with this, Sky. And to everybody who's heard this story, to all of your fellow students, I hope they realize this too. You can say, oh, this is the exception. This is just a quirk of reality. This is just an unfortunate consequence of how society comes together in the most beautiful way to ensure a great future for America's youth. And it's just, a misperception, little quirk of things here. And really, it's okay because it's fine for the government to do one thing and say another. After all, they have most of the guns. But that it's okay for them to have this kind of hypocrisy, to make this kind of ridiculous situation possible. And as a result, if you go that way with it, you should go back to school. Keep taking your tests. Keep sitting in that cemetery row seating, absorbing propaganda, and being conditioned to be a good little wage slave for the rest of your life. Option 2, however, you could see government for what it is, the hypocrisy. You could realize that this is a racket, that this school doesn't have your best interests at heart, that the reason they do this is because it is a system designed to disadvantage you and rip you off. Now, it might not be the easier way to go with this, because should you come to that conclusion, should you acknowledge objective reality in front of your eyes, to not live up to those conclusions is to subject yourself to the great pain of cognitive dissonance for knowing that you faced this deceit, this evil, and acquiesced. You succumbed. You became a part of the system. And that's not really an option, is it? If you really realize the implications of this, there's only one way to act and to behave. And that is to do everything in your power to exit this system, to not support it, to withdraw yourself, to save yourself, your mind, your body, all the things that the government would like to poison through this system. And I would hope that, Sky, you would take this as a chance to start this conversation with your father or your mother. You mentioned your father in the story here, but your parents, as so many other kids in America should be doing right now when they realize just how badly the government is selling off your future. Demand from your parents. Demand to be able to take charge of your own education. Demand to be either homeschooled or unschooled, or to be able to decide your destiny for yourself rather than having it predetermined by these kind of hypocritical pieces of crap that would lie right to your face, put you in another room, and you think just because you're in high school you're being treated like a child because you haven't reached the government's official age of 18? No. You want to be a wage slave for the rest of your life? They will continue to treat you like a child forever.
Nobody else is showing the IDs.
Yeah, you gotta show ID.
Sir, you're grabbing me?
And that's the problem. The decision-making matrix. Exercise your right to alter or abolish the government.